blood? She went, 20. Well, another 10 minutes went by, I went in and got seen. 3 days ago, I was back. This time, my appointment was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the same donation centre. I walked through the door, 10 to 3, stood at the back of the queue. Who's at the back of the queue? But it was the same grey-haired lady that was behind me last time. So I tapped her on the shoulder, I went, hello? I said, are you here to donate blood? She went, I'm available for children's parties if you are interested. This is an old pub classic sing-along by the late, great Mary Hopkins. It's called The Tavern, or some of you might know it as Those Were the Days. I want to hear you singing along, and if you don't sing, I will come and sit on your lap. Once upon a time, there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. I remember how we laughed away the hours and dreamed of all the great things we would do. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We live the life we choose, we fight and never lose. For we were young and sure to have our way. Just tonight, I stood before the tavern, yet nothing's in the way it used to be. And in the glass I saw a strange reflection. Is that lovely girl really me? Don't laugh, bitch. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We live the life we choose, we fight and never lose. Those were the days, oh yes, those were the days. Are you ready for the la-las? La 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 la. La 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 la. Those were the days. Oh yes, those were the days. Thank you very much. Well, in part one, I did mention my husband, you know, and the other day I failed to mention that we did have a blazing row. Now, we had a big row, you know, because he sort of annoyed me, and he knew the following day that I weren't in a good mood. So what he said to me, he said, look, you know, here's my credit card. He gave me the PIN number and everything. He said, go out and treat yourself, you know. So I jumped on the tube straight to the West End, and I was going round all the shops and everything, and then I come across that Anne Summer shop. I'd never been before. I was like a kid in a candy store. Yes, I was opening all the packets and shoving all the batteries and everything in it. Oh, I was so excited I was when I got... But the price, very expensive. Yeah, I thought I'd go down to Sue Ryder. She's a lot cheaper. And I was so excited, you know, and I'm looking all around the store, and the assistant, you know, she come up to me. She, anything I can help you with today? I said, yes. I said, I'm thinking of buying a new vibrator. She said, well, there's some over there on the shelf. She said, we've got some under the display counter. Well, when I glanced over there, with every colour of the rainbow, it was black, pink, orange, gold. I said, I'll have the red one down by the door. And she said, you fuck off, that's a fire extinguisher. And it was one of them type shops, you know, the old sort of fashion shops where they have, you know, the bell over the door so you can hear if someone's coming through the door. Well, the bell rang and I sort of glanced over and I'm not joking, but this little old lady come through the door, bless her heart, and I held the door back and she was coming on one of them walking frames like that. I thought, fucking hell, the shop shuts at 5 o'clock, you know what I mean? She's going like that up to the counter. Hopping up to the counter she was. Well, you can't rush people, I couldn't help her. And she got all the way to the front counter, and she said to the lady behind the till, she went, vibrators, dear. She said, yes, madam. She's got some on the display to counter. The old girl went, She said, we've got the 7-inch. The old girl went, She said, very well. She got the 10-inch. The old girl went, not that one. The assistant, a little bit embarrassed, she said, we've got the one on the end, the 14-inch only comes in black. The old girl went, that's the one. How'd you switch it off? So anyway, well, I had all my bags, I had all the bags of shopping. You know what they say, you know, don't drive into London and everything because, you know, all the parking, the congestion. Well, anyway, I had all my bags of shopping and I was making my way back down to Covent Garden. And as I was going towards Charing Cross, I saw one of them lovely posh wine bars and I sort of glanced through the window, all the glass windows and everything. I thought, well, I'll go in there, you know, and treat myself because I had the old man's credit card, you know. And I do get recognised, you know, when I'm doing my shopping in Waitrose. Because I don't wear this, of course. I wear jeans and a t-shirt and a baseball cap. And I'm pushing my trolley around to wherever. And people come up to say, you're the one that does the dressing up, the Miss.com. I said, yes, is that? Anyway, I got in this wine bar, gone through the door, up to the bar, ordered a glass of wine. The fella's come through this door, posh geezer he was, in a suit and everything. He comes through the door, just about to order a drink, and he looked over at me. And he said, it's Mr. I said, yes. I said, it is. He said, can I buy you a drink? And can I smell your fanny? I said, no, you cannot. He said, well, it must be your feet. So anyway, he ordered a bottle of fizz, you know, and I heard the cork pop, you see, and fizz, that's what I like. You know, it's what I like. And I heard the fizz, and I thought, oh, that's nice. That's a nice bottle of champagne there. And he said, would you like a glass? And I said, oh, yes, thank you very much. And, you know, we're just chatting, and he's getting closer and closer to me, coming up to the bar, standing closer and closer. And kept winking at me, strange. Anyway, the conversation was going well, and then he winked again, and his glass eye fell out. And quick as a flash, I went like that, put my hand down, it landed in my hand. I said to him, excuse me, I think you dropped this. He said, oh, thank you ever so much. He said, you've been so discreet. And he went like quick as a flash, he went like that and popped it back in again. Oh, that's amazing, that is, I thought. He said, thank you so much. He said, after this bottle, he said, I know a nice Italian around the corner. He said, do you fancy coming round, you know, and we'll have a little bit of early dinner. I thought to myself, well, that'd be nice. I thought the old man's working away, you know, you never know. So I said, yes. Anyway, we finished the bottle and we went to this lovely Italian round. We had all the courses and everything, the garlic bread and the pasta. It was lovely. He said, I only live round the corner. He said, I've got a lovely view over the embankment. He said, I'm just down on the Queen's Embankment. He said, do you fancy coming back to mine? So anyway, we've gone in the lift, up the fucking 6th floor, and gone through his flat door. Well, as we walked through the door, he started to undo the shirt buttons. I thought, hang on a minute. I said to him, can I ask, do you treat all the women you meet like this? He said, no, you just happened to catch my eye. And anyway, I get so late that day, you know, and I'm in the kitchen because it was the old man's birthday. And I thought, you know, rustle up something nice. So I've got a few fish fingers out, threw them in the pan. And he came from work and he stood in the doorway. Well, he went upstairs to get changed, he'd come back and he stood in the doorway again. And yeah, so, and I glanced over like that, he had something in his hand. He said, look what I've got here. I went, oh, same as usual. And he said, no, look. And he had some of them condoms. And he said, oh, I didn't even know, I didn't even see them. I said, what are they? He said, well, there's some new condoms on the market. He said, they're luminous. I said, fucking luminous? I said, what does that mean? He said, it means when it's dark, it shines up in the dark. I thought to myself, it looked like a little glowworm, wouldn't it, eh? But what I thought is a little tip for you ladies. If your other half comes over with them luminous condoms, the only thing they're good for is wait till the other half's put it on and then nod it off, because if you don't fancy a bit, you can always lift the sheets and have a read. The only thing they're good for. We're going to do a lovely song now by the Monkeys. It's called Daydream Believer. And let me hear you singing along to my little bit of the Monkeys. Here we go. Oh, I could hide neath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. 6 o'clock alarm never rings, and 3, 2, and hands in the air. The razor's cold and it stings. Okay, your turn to sing along. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Louder than that, come on. To a daydream believer and a homecoming queen. You once wore on me as a white knight on a steed. Now you know how happy I can be. And I want good times start to end without dollar one to spend. But how much, baby, do you really need? Okay, hands in the air, sing along with Mr. Call. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? You need to join in. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Come on, Les, hands in the air. Don't touch me. Cheer up. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Last time, here we go. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? How kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, there was 3 of the blokes sat around work one lunchtime, you know, and they're having their lunch that the wives had made them a little packed lunch. And he opened his lunchbox. He said, for fuck's sake, she knows I don't like cheese and pickle sandwiches. She's made me another cheese and pickle sandwich. If I have one more cheese and pickle sandwich, then I'm going to do away with her. Well, the following day, they're all sat around lunchtime, you know, on the building site. You open your lunchbox, what's inside it? A cheese and fucking pickle sandwich. I don't believe it. He said, I went home, he said, no, I told her I don't like cheese and pickle sandwich. She's made me another cheese and pickle sandwich. And he said, I am a man of my word. He said, we've been married 20 years. I don't know about happy married, but we've been married 20 years. She gets on my nerves. She moans in my ear all the time. When I go down the pub and everything, he said, I'm going to do away with her. And this other fella, he said, he piped up. He said, I know the person. I know who you need. He said, I've got this friend, bit of a gangster. He said, I might be able to help you out. He said, oh, really? He said, oh, yes. He said, I'll introduce you. His name's Artie. So the following day, they're all sat round at lunchtime. Sure enough, he opened the lunchbox, cheese and pickle sandwich. He said, can I introduce you? He said, this is my friend, Artie. And he turned to Artie and he said, I want to do away with the missus. He said, I want it all discreet and everything. Don't want no trail or anything, you know. So Artie said, well, he said, it will cost you. He said, well, I've come to this, you know, understanding that it will cost me a little bit. He said, can I ask you, he said, how much will it cost, Artie? He said, be honest with me. Artie said, would a penny be all right? He said, I've just told you I want you to kill my wife. I want you to do away with my missus. He said, you're telling me it's going to cost a penny? He said, well, I'm a reasonable fella, Artie said. He said, well, in that case, he said, I'll go ahead. But Artie said, listen, he said, I'll need to get to know who your wife is and how I will recognise her. He said, well, it's simple. This fella said, listen, he said, my wife's got a routine. Every Monday morning, without fail, she goes to Tesco's. She goes to Tesco's every Monday morning, without fail, same time, 9 o'clock. She's blonde hair, big tits, tall, drives a little red Mini. So Artie thought to himself, right, he thought, Tesco's, 9 o'clock, Monday morning. So sure enough, Artie went to the Tesco's and he was parked up in the car park, you know, and he's waiting. Well, all of a sudden, 5 to 9,
In through the car park gates drives this little red Mini. Door opens, out gets this blonde bird. Tall, big tits. He thought, that's her. That's the one. So he went to the back of his car and got out this rope. And just before she was going in the entrance of Tesco's, he crept up behind her, threw this rope round her neck and pulled it tight, dragged her to the back of the car, opened the boot, threw her in the back. He got in the driving seat, just about to drive away. All of a sudden, this little red Mini pulls in. Stops, handbrake goes on, door opens, blonde bird gets out, big knockers. He thought, fuck. I wonder if I've got the right one. So he ran to the back of the car, got out some more rope, followed her in before she went in Tesco's, threw this rope round her neck, pulled it tight, broke her neck, dragged her back to the back of the car, opened the boot, chucked her in as well. And he got caught. He did. It was in the headlines the following day, in the newspaper. Tesco's, artichokes, 2 for a penny. Don't get much better than that, it's getting late now. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. My favourite at the moment is none other than she's on telly a lot at the moment. Is none other than Jane McDonald. Oh, okay. Yes, I'm a fan because I'm always watching her on TV. You know, if she's working locally in the theatre, I do like to attend. You know, because I think she's got a lovely voice. And she's doing all them cruise programmes, isn't she? I do like a cruise. Anyone been on a cruise in the room? No one been on a cruise? No, she does a lot of cruise and the holiday programmes, doesn't she? So I thought I'd do a little song from by Jane McDonald, and it was written by Jane McDonald actually, and it goes a lot like this. If you have just taken drugs, you've wasted them, by the way, because you'll see why in a minute. You are the one that makes me smile, that makes each single day worthwhile. You are the one that makes me sing, shows me the good in everything. Even when I'm low and feeling down, darkness turns to light. When you're around, when you're around, you are the one that leads me, that guides me, and loves me. Thank you for it all. I thank you most of all for the hand that leads me. You are the one that's always strong, that's always taught me right from wrong. You're my best friend, and may I say, I love you more and more each day. Even when I'm low and feeling down, darkness turns to light. When you're around, when you're around, you are the one that leads me, that needs me, that guides me, and loves me. Thank you for it all. I thank you most of all for the hand that leads me. You are the one that
leads me, that needs me, that guides me, and loves me. Thank you for it all. I thank you most of all for the hand that leads me. Thank you for it all. I thank you most of all for the hand that leads me. Yeah. Oh, Jane McDonald. Thank you very much for that. Lovely Jane McDonald. But I don't know if I told you, but my friend phoned me up the other day, lovely Italian fella, you know, runs one of the local restaurants. He phoned me up in a medical emergency. He said to me, Doc, he said, any chance, he said, because I've got to go back to Italy. He said, we have a medical emergency in Italy. Any chance you could mind the restaurant while I'm gone? I shouldn't be long. I said, listen, I said, I don't think customer service is my thing. He said, oh, it's simple. He said, all I need you to do is open the restaurant around about lunchtime, like 11 o'clock and everything, let the chef in. He said, and lock up at the end of the day, do the cashing up. I thought, well, it sounds simple, you know. I said, but how long are you going to be away? Not too long. He said, no, he said, I'm only going to be away a day or two, you know. Well, I agreed to this, you know, and I've never done any other job in my life, but I thought, well, it's got to sound simple if he shows me which key does what, you know. So I opened the restaurant, 11 o'clock. The first day, 11:30, the waitress phones in sick. I thought, bitch. I thought, I don't believe it. So there I am, I've got this bloody pinny on me, you know, picked up the notepad and everything. It must have gone about 12:15. This fella come down, sat at one of the tables. Well, I've gone over to take his order, you know, and he saw the specials board, and he looked over, he said, oh, can I have the special? He said, today's special, the cauliflower cheese and broccoli bake. So I wrote it down on the pad, I pissed off to the kitchen. I said, here, chef, I said, there's a fella out there who wants the cauliflower cheese and broccoli bake. He said, we can't. I said, what do you mean can't? He said, we've got no broccoli. I said, for fuck's sake. I went back out, I said, I do apologise. I said, chef's only just told me, he said, run out of broccoli. He said, it's not a problem. He said, there's no worries. He said, I'll choose something else. So I handed him back the menu, had a look down the menu. He said, oh, here we are. He said, my favourite. He said, minted lamb, some of them crispy potatoes. He said, all the lovely mint sauce and everything that goes with it. I'll have some peas, carrots and broccoli. I said, oh, I did just say, I said, unfortunately, chef's got no broccoli. He said, you did just say that. He said, I'm so sorry. It's not a problem. So I'll choose something else. So we had a little look down the menu. He said, oh, here. He said, I'll have a meat pie. He said, because it is my favourite. You know, I'll have mashed potatoes, some of that lovely onion gravy. I'll have a corn on the cob, he said, and some broccoli. I said to him, look. I said, can you spell dog, as in dogmatic? He said, yeah, D-O-G. I said, very good. I said, and can you spell cat, as in catastrophic? He went, yeah, C-A-T. I said, very good. I said, and can you spell fuck, as in broccoli? He said, there is no fucking broccoli. I said, exactly, choose something else. But it reminds me, because I do travel all over the country, you know, or with an act like this, you have to. But I was working up north last week. I stay up north, you know, because the agent's very good. He sorts me out a little, you know, little tour, and I do Manchester on a Friday afternoon or Friday evening, and then I head up to Blackpool on the Saturday, and I do a gig there, and then back down to Newcastle on the Sunday, and then back home on the Monday. And the agent's very good because he sorts out all the hotels and everything, and me and my car, and I just have to arrive. It's very simple with all my bags, you know. Well, I was going up the M1, and there's this particular cafe that I do like to stop in on the M1. And I always go in there when I'm working up north because you can rely on the food, you know, good hygiene rates and everything. I do like to stop in this particular cafe. And so the batteries always let you down, don't they? So anyway, I pulled over in this cafe and I walked through the door, but it wasn't the usual fella that's normally behind the counter when I stop in this cafe when I woke up north. But I thought, oh, what the hell, you know, I'm here now. So anyway, I ordered it. I said, can I have one of them sirloin steaks? I said, because I don't want anything too heavy. I said, I'm working this evening. I said, mashed potato. He started to write it down. I said, can I ask, how much is that? He said, a penny. I said, a penny. He said, a penny. I said, a penny. He said, a penny. I said, a penny. He said, a penny. I said, oh, that's cheap, isn't it? So anyway, wrote that down. I said, can I order me dessert? He said, of course you can. I'll have spotted it in custard. My favourite.
I said, how much is that? He went, a penny. I said, a penny. He said, a penny. I said, a penny. He said, a penny. I said, a penny. He said, a penny. I said, oh, that's fucking cheap, isn't it? I said, now, the lady behind the bar, she knew how I like my tea, you know. I said, I'll have a cup of tea. I said, I like tea bag in and out. I said, none of that Builder's tea, loads of milk, 1 sugar. I said, how much is that? He said, I said, a penny. He said, a penny. 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 I said, it's fucking cheap, isn't it? I said, but you're not the usual fella that normally takes my order. When I stop in this restaurant, I said, where is he? He said, he's upstairs. I went, upstairs? I said, what's he doing upstairs? He said, same to my wife as what I'm doing to his business. But anyway, I got up there, and it was a rough area of Manchester, you know, all rough. I walked through the door, and it was the quiz. The first question, the prize in the quiz was an alibi for a week. Oh, it was rough. They had pigs on the bars as air fresheners, rough as fuck, you know. And I did the gig, and, you know, sort of soon got out of there. Well, as I headed up to Blackpool, oh, I love Blackpool. Any of you been to Blackpool? Yeah. Oh, it's lovely. Isn't it lovely in Blackpool? I mean, I do like all that long sandy seafront, and it's nice, isn't it? The beach is near the sea, and... Well, I knocked at the hotel door, you know, thinking I'd got the right hotel, and I knocked on the door. This great big woman answered. She, yes, can I help you? I said, I'd like to stay here, please. She went, fucking stay there. Then she slammed the door in my face, you know. So I knocked again, you know. She said, listen, we've got one room. She said, it's small. I said, well, I better take it. She showed me up to the room, and as I put, oh, it's fucking small, I put the key in the lock and broke the mirror in the wardrobe. Oh, small. And I only had 1 bag, you know, and I put that down. I didn't even need to unpack, and I sort of unzipped my bag, and there was a sign on the side, a little sign, and a button underneath. It said, press for service. I pushed this button, the fucking tennis ball hit me in the face. So as you know, Blackpool's renowned for its rain, you know. So I thought, I've got to get out of here. There's got to be something to do. And on the side, there was one of them sort of things to do in the local area, you know, the sort of magazines they have in the hotel. So I picked it up and I had a little flick through, you know. As I'm sort of having a little flick through, I got to the back page and someone scribbled in it. Someone scribbled in the back page of this Blackpool, what's on in Blackpool magazine. And it said, in tiny, tiny writing, for a horny time, call Dave. Had the number underneath. Well, I was feeling a bit horny. So I went over to the phone on the side, I lifted up the receiver and dialed the number. I said, this is miss.com. I said, I'm in the Incontinent Guest House. Room 264. I said, come up. I said, come straight up. I said, I'll leave the door on the latch. I said, I'll be spread eagled on the bed, no clothes on. I said, I'd like a large portion there. I said, if you're up for it, we'll go out and make love in the shower and on the balcony. I said, if you're feeling kinky, bring a mate with you. And the voice on the other end said, this is the receptionist, you don't know him for an outside line. But I went into one of these bars, you know, strange bars, you know, up there, and I said to this fella, you all right? He said, yeah. He said, I said, I haven't seen you for a while. I said, but I do recognise you. He said, yeah. He said, I've got a new job now. I said, oh, really? I said, what are you doing? He said, well, he said, I cook food, he said, and serve food to the homeless. I went, oh, I said, that's lovely. I said, what, out on the street? He said, no, Wetherspoons. So anyway, I got home later that day, you know, and I got right back to London, you know, the old man, I thought there's something dodgy going on here. I walked in, it was like Doc Cotton's laundrette, there was clothes and everything everywhere, you know. I thought something's not quite right here. So I said to the other half, I said, what's been going on while I've been away? I think it had a woman in. Yeah, because we've got an open relationship now. I'm hoping he'll fuck off a little bit. When I say open relationship, I set a few rules in the relationship. Because the thing is, like a typical bloke, he likes to go down the pub and he has a few drinks with his mates. Not a problem by me. But it is to be back and in our house no later than 11 o'clock. Because he comes home all hours of the morning, really noisy, piss and wakes me up. And then I get the ump. Because normally I work down like the following day, I get up at lunchtime and I'm working in Eastbourne. I've got to travel a long distance, you know. So I said, listen, I said, you're going to go down the pub. I said, not a problem. Be back in our house no later than 11. The first week he went down the local pub, he was back 11:15. Thought, this is working. I thought, I got him trained. I might let him out a few more extra days this week. The second week he went down the local pub, the Dog and Duck. The bell went at 11:55. And his mate said to him, do you want another? He said, I'm not calm. He said, I've got to go home. He said, she locks the door at 11. He said, don't worry. He said, do what I do with my missus. Of course, my old man's piped up. He said, well, what do you do? He said, well, if I'm late in, what I do when I go in, if I'm late, he said, I put the key in the lock. He said, I hang my coat up, tiptoe up the stairs, don't make a sound. He said, go into the bedroom, lift the end of the duvet, climb up between her legs, give her fanny a good... He said, you may hear a few moans and groans, but nothing about being late in from the pub. My old man, does it work? He said, of course it fucking works. He said, in that case, he said, I'll have another pint, he said, and a couple of shots to go with it. I thought, bastard. Now, you know what it's like, girls, when... You know what it's like, ladies? You know what it's like, ladies, when the men are late home because you double bolt the front door, don't you? You switch every light off to make it pitch black, draw every curtain in the house, and you go to bed with the ump, because that's exactly what I did. 11 o'clock came and went. 1:45, I was upstairs in bed, fast asleep. Then I heard the key go in the lock. He stumbled through that door, pissed as a mattress, woke me up, stumbling around, banging around in the kitchen. So I've gone into the bathroom, gone up the stairs, fell at the end of the bed, lifted up the duvet, up between the sheets, gave the old fanny, the old Jack and Danny a good... Then he come out of the bedroom after 10 minutes and come into the bathroom. That's where I was. Should have seen his face when he saw me sat on the loo. He went, ah! I said, shh, don't make a